Okay, so on the practice sheet today, the first thing it asks is to order these things to where a linear is a good fit or not a good fit. So this first one is talking about the ounces of water that you drink compared to a number of restroom visits. So if you look here, this looks very linear. So the less water you drink, the less you have to go to the bathroom. The more water, the more you have to go to the bathroom. So that's a very linear thing. So that would be a good fit. This is time spent retaking a quiz and the score on the makeup quiz. Okay, so here you have a definite good linear representation of that. Okay, so A and B are both good for a linear representation. Okay, so if we go down here, it says men's ages to length of beard. Okay, now this I would probably say is not a great linear fit because it's all over the place. Just because they're old doesn't mean that their beard is long because there's probably a lot of people that don't have a beard. Okay, and then here, time eating lunch to number of, oh, I can't read this, it's so small, number of absences. Okay, so they're talking about how long it takes you to eat lunch to what your absence is. Well, there is no correlation whatsoever there, so a linear correlation would not work here. So both of these are more nonlinear. Okay, so here it says time sharpening the pencil to the length of the pencil. Well, the more you sharpen it, the less it you have, so obviously it's going to decrease in there, and that is a very linear graph. Temperature to ice cream, oh, little tiny words, ice cream sales. Okay, so the hotter it is, the more ice cream sales you get. This is a pretty linear, I would say this would probably be linear, although there are a few people like my husband that love ice cream no matter what time of temperature it is. Okay, this one is the temperature to the number of photoplankton um, in the thousands. So photoplankton, the hotter it gets, the more plankton there are. So this is definitely a linear model. And then this is temperature to the number of meals per day. So how often you eat based on the temperature. And there is absolutely no correlation. So this is not linear. Okay, so if we're going to go here, let's see, we have A, B, E, F, and G look very linear, and the other three do not. So not a good fit. Let's see, A, B, E, F, and G. So these over here would be C, D, and H are not a good fit. Okay, so how did we decide which examples would be an excellent fit for a linear model? Well, those that had a more linear shape. Okay, so select one of the cards that has a negative linear association. Using the context on the graph provided, explain the meaning of that its situation. Okay, so let's go back over here. So the two negatives are B and E. So here in B, or we could do E over here. Now this is time sharpening the pencil to the length of the pencil. Okay, so let's use E. That's a good one. So we're going to use card E, and it means that the more time you spend sharpening the pencil, the smaller pencil becomes. Okay, so the more time you spend sharpening it, the length of the pencil gets smaller. Okay, so this next one says select one of the cards that has a weak positive correlation coefficient. Using the context, explain the meaning of that association. So we need a weak positive. Okay, so let's see. Those are two strong positives. Oops, can't get to the middle of those. Here's a weak. C is a good weak positive. So that's the men's ages and the length of their beard. Okay. So this one says, using the context, explain the meaning of that association. So we're looking at card C, and it says, as men age, the length of their beards may or may not be longer. Okay, so that's just kind of a explaining the association because it's they're aging. Some of them their beards are longer, some of them are not. Just all depends on their beard. Okay, so let's look on the back. Now the back goes through using a specific card to talk about the data. So the first one says there are 18 data points in the scatter plot. So if we go back to the scatter plots and we go over here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. But then don't forget this one up here. Okay, so that makes 19 points on there. Okay, so I'm going to disagree with this. And there are 19 points because you forgot the outlier. Just going to write that on there, outlier. Okay, it says the longer students take on a retake quiz, the lower the score. So if we go back to B and look at the correlation, the association here, the more time they spend on the retake quiz, the lower the scores are in general. Now there's that outlier there, so this would be a true statement because looking at the majority of the quizzes, they are getting lower grades the longer they take on the retake. So I would agree with this. The data has a negative association. Okay, now looking at card G. Scatterplot G could represent a linear model. So if we go back here, G, well, definitely this is the one that has a 1 for its R value, and the points are in a line. So I would say definitely on that one. Okay, so I put the R value on there too. At 8 degrees, there was approximately 130,000 photoplankton. Okay, so if we look here at G, 8 seconds is right here, and you can see that this only goes up to 20 something thousand. So there's no way there's 130,000 because that would be well above this one anyway. So that's 20, 30, 40, 50. It doesn't even go up to 50,000. Okay, so we are going to disagree with that statement. 8 degrees is approximately, let's say 24,000. That was the point approximately there. Okay, so on F, the correlation coefficient of 0.76 means that this scatter plot has a positive weak linear association. It is positive, but it's not weak. So I'm going to disagree with this. 0.74 is closer to 1 than 0. So a stronger association. Okay, last question. As the temperature increases, the ice cream sales decrease. I'm also, if we go back and look at that, you can definitely see on F, come on, that it had that positive number, okay, positive correlation, that 0.76, so it's going up. So as the temperature goes up, the sales go up too. So we are going to disagree with this one. A positive correlation or association. So as the sales temperature goes up, the sales go up. Okay, so that's your handout there. See how you did on that. See if you agreed or disagreed with my same statements.